All right. Hello. There we are. Now we are live. Okay. So there's a lot of things happening right now. I am not done with my document. I still want to get some more news in, but I wanted to go live here to sort of get this out the way here. As far as I understand, a very serious solar storm could be hitting tomorrow, the 13th of November. So we are looking for that right now. I've got a video here for you. I want to play this. I haven't watched it myself, so yeah, we're gonna watch this right here. Oh, sorry about that.
For the second day in a row, I had intended to go over recent scientific studies, but the sun has once again preempted by necessity. And no, it's not what's on NOAA's updated endless spiral here, although it is a good place to start, as they have both of yesterday's eruptive events on there, showing that we have two impacts heading for Earth on the 30th and then on December 1st. But just a few hours ago, the sunspot group we said to watch unleashed a long duration solar flare. It has a Delta class magnetic field, which is where the biggest flares usually occur, and it unloaded an X ray explosion the size of Saturn. The solar flare itself was an M9.8, nearly X class, and given its long duration, a CME eruption is certain. This is quite obvious when looking at 193 angstroms, where you see how the flare point blasted out a shockwave of plasma that is indeed erupting into space. It is early in the coronagraph update process, but SOHO so far shows us a full halo eruption. This makes yet another, a third eruption that will hit the Earth, and given that the flare was strong, it will likely be less than a 3-day travel time. It will impact with the previous two events, and so we should have inclement geomagnetic activity to kick off the month of December. There's no need to freak out. Kill shot potential of this, even with multiple shots combined, is less than 1%, but we may get yet another low latitude auroral event, and we could see moderate technological disruptions from the geomagnetic storm. The sunspot is still dangerous. We're still watching. We'll be updating again in the morning show. We'll see you then. Be safe, everyone. For the second day in a row, I had intended to go over recent scientific studies, but the sun has once again preempted by necessity. And no, it's not what's on NOAA's updated endless spiral here, although it is a good place to start, as they have both of yesterday's eruptive events on there, showing that we have two impacts heading for Earth on the 30th and then on December 1st. But just a few hours ago, the sunspot group we said to watch unleashed a long duration solar flare. It has a Delta class magnetic field, which is where the biggest flares usually occur, and it unloaded an X ray explosion the size of Saturn. The solar flare itself was an M9.8, nearly X class, and given its long duration, a CME eruption is certain. This is quite obvious when looking at 193 angstroms, where you see how the flare point blasted out a shockwave of plasma that is indeed erupting into space. It is early in the coronagraph update process, but SOHO so far shows us a full halo eruption. This makes yet another, a third eruption that will hit the Earth, and given that the flare was strong, it will likely be less than a 3-day travel time. It will impact with the previous two events, and so we should have inclement geomagnetic activity to kick off the month of December. There's no need to freak out. Kill shot potential of this, even with multiple shots combined, is less than 1%, but we may get yet another low latitude auroral event, and we could see moderate technological disruptions from the geomagnetic storm. The sunspot is still dangerous. We're still watching. We'll be updating again in the morning show. We'll see you then. Be safe, everyone. For the second day in a row, I had intended to go over recent scientific studies, but the sun has once again preempted by necessity. And no, it's not what's on NOAA's updated endless spiral here, although it is a good place to start, as they have both of yesterday's eruptive events on there, showing that we have two impacts heading for Earth on the 30th and then on December.
All right, listen. I'll get back to that. We're gonna show some other news real quick because things are kind of kicking off here. There are some new things, and there's apparently is a second war going off. I'm not aware if this is a war that will go off, but well, you heard about the solar superstorm there. No need to freak out. However, it does appear to be dangerous in some ways, so there could be some moderate technological disruption, not a end of the world kind of scenario, but it could be some things that you might want to watch out for. So it definitely something to watch out for. But check this video out here, because this is going to explain the recent land dispute between Guyana Guyana, maybe, I don't know, and Venezuela. Venezuela is also one of the most corrupt countries in the world. Has some of the most gold, oil resources in the world, and many countries have many corrupt people, oil gods, or what you want to put it. You know, these oligarchs, Russian oligarchs or Russians. They're aligned with Russia. There's even talks about putting Russian troops there. There were famously a country with Belarus has been flying planes before, and blah blah blah. So it's quite a corrupt country, and it is the most dangerous city in the world lies in Venezuela. So, but check this out right here. Many of these people that you see from the Venezuelan government, many of these people that, like they're going around playing trumpet, they seem to be in favor. Many of them are paid off. Many of them aren't true to what it looks like they're trying to prevail. Some of it is true, but a lot of it is not. It is sort of a close communist kind of country in some ways, but it is not. It's very corrupt. And these people right here, young man right here in soldier uniform, very likely someone who stands guard and makes sure they don't film the wrong thing, and they film this thing, and probably an actor too. I mean, many of these people here, because he doesn't have a gun with him as well. I mean, imagine why would they need a gun, right? I don't know, but it's very likely it's a bit corrupted, but
I will tell you the truth. Nobody, indigenous people, are not prepared for any takeover. Nobody has informed us actually. Now it is being put on the table by us here as leaders trying to inform our people of the dangers that is
It's
above
not
us.
Africa, by the way. This is South America. Okay, but this is Latino country right there. Eh, this is in Guana. Guana? Yeah, Guyana. Yeah, you get it. Quite beautiful country. They're both very beautiful countries. They are. Um, yeah, beautiful countries. That's what they are.
Organic grown watermelon here. 1,200, 600,
I mean, this is the disputed territory that they're talking about. You know,
We are
um,
praying, we are hoping, and we are having faith that nothing negative would come.
I mean, this is the smaller village in this area, in which question is this territory in which they're supposed to be talking about. Comparing to what I understand the situation here, this is the people that live in this territory or village, in which territory Venezuela wants back, or apparently they want back, or Guana wants to continue to control, or I mean, I don't know about this. I just heard about this. I get to understand it a bit better Of course, as far as I understand, this is the best thing. This is the video that we're watching here.
You know what? All these rumors that is happening, we are just praying and hoping and having faith that this is all lies, because we are not a people of, disaster. We're not people of like causing problems. We don't want to be like that. We want to continue living a peaceful life in this beautiful land of ours.
Beautiful land, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah. Again, governments fighting over things that, by the way, to make sure I don't get anything copyright here, Associated Press, thank you. So Associated Press, an independent global news organization dedicated to factual reporting, founded in 1846, AP today remains the most trusted source of fast, accurate, unbased news in all formats, an essential provider of technology and services vital to the news business. More than half the world's population sees AB journalism every day. So Associated Press, thank you very much. This is their video here. Great video, actually. Really good video. So a lot of things coming out. A lot of things coming out from Israel. There's still a ceasefire in Israel here, as far as I understand here. But I will read more about this super solar storm here. I'm gonna read. There's a lot to read here, but I'm gonna read it out for you. So when you watch this back, you understand the situation best. New solar flare causes radio blackout as solar storms head towards Earth. Space weather forecast reported a potent M-class solar flare causing a high-frequency radio blackout event on Tuesday. Multiple eruptions from the Sunday have led to geomagnetic storm watches for later this week, Fox Weather reported. The NOAA Space Weather Prediction Center revealed that the M9.8 solar flare recorded by the NOAA GOES-19 satellite resulted in a moderate HF radio blackout event Tuesday. Potential HF radio degradation was anticipated over the eastern part of the South Pacific Ocean during the flare. Due to the recent solar activity, the forecast suggests the possibility of more M-class flares and a slight chance of X-class flares, the most powerful on the NOAA scale. And we heard this guy talk about this as well, M-classes and X-classes, but we heard about him saying that I believe it was 3 M-classes. I'll watch that video again afterwards because I didn't really, I was listening, but I think I forgot about what he said it was. But that's pretty significant there. But we'll watch that video back just after this one as well. So solar flares are categorized by strength, with M and X class flares being the strongest. An X-class flare, the most significant explosion, can generate energy equivalent to 1 billion atomic bombs. According to NASA, the SWPC indicate that additional solar eruptions are directed towards Earth. Free coronal mass ejection, CMES, occur on Sunday, propelling plasma clouds from the sun towards Earth. The arrival of solar particles is expected, with potential impacts starting as early as Wednesday evening, presenting a potential glancing blow of near-Earth. Subsequent rounds of solar wind, described as at least glancing blows, anticipated by Thursday, tomorrow, 13th of December. 30th of December. The NOAA uses a 5-point rating scale for solar storms, G1 and G5, with models suggesting G1 minor levels on Thursday and G2 moderate levels on Friday due to the additional CMES NOAA space weather forecast use solar observation instruments on satellite to monitor the sun and forecast space weather. After a solar eruption, computer models aid in predicting when particles are expected to reach Earth atmosphere. While a geomagnetic disruption to satellite navigation and low frequency radio navigation, NOAA issues a space weather forecast to assist spacecraft operators and power providers in preparing for potential impact. For the public, a solar storm can be exciting as charged particles colliding with Earth's atmospheres create the aurora boreals of northern lights, or better known as northern light. I don't know what that aurora blah or northern lights, as far as we understand. These dazzling lights are typically observed around the poles, but can extend to lower altitudes, meaning down towards maybe Scandinavia or Canada, maybe Siberia. Sorry. So, as far as I understand, Northern Light, doing a robust solar storm NOAA aurora dashboard indicates the likelihood of faint auroras lights on the northern U.S. starting Wednesday night. Oh, so solar storms in November resulted in a vivid display of northern lights. As so far south of the Carolines, the increased geometric storms and aurora activity align with the rising solar activity as the sun approaches the solar maximum in the 11-year solar cycle. The latest WPS forecast for solar cyclists 25 places the solar maximum into January, October 2024. Oh, shit. There you have it. That's the readout there. Sorry, I took a break there. I had something, but watch this again.
For the second day in a row, I had intended to go over recent scientific studies, but the sun has once again preempted by necessity. And no, it's not what's on NOAA's updated Endless spiral here, although it is a good place to start, as they have both of yesterday's eruptive events on there, showing that we have two impacts heading for Earth on the 30th and then on December 1st. But just a few hours ago, the sunspot group we said to watch unleashed a long-duration solar flare. It has a Delta-class magnetic field, which is where the biggest flares usually occur, and it unloaded an X-ray explosion the size of Saturn. The solar flare itself was an M9.8, nearly X-class, and given its long duration, a CME eruption is certain. This is quite obvious when looking at 193 angstroms, where you see how the flare point blasted out a shockwave of plasma that is indeed erupting into space. It is early in the coronagraph update process, but SOHO so far shows us a full halo eruption. This makes yet another, a third eruption that will hit the Earth, and given that the flare was strong, it will likely be less than a 3-day travel time. It will impact with the previous two events, and so we should have inclement geomagnetic activity to kick off the month of December. There's no need to freak out. Kill shot potential of this, even with multiple shots combined, is less than 1%, but we may get yet another low-latitude auroral event, and we could see moderate technological disruptions from the geomagnetic storm. The sunspot is still dangerous. We're still watching. We'll be updating again in the morning show. We'll see you then. Be safe, everyone. For the second day in a row, I had intended to go over recent scientific studies, but the sun has once again preempted by necessity. And no, it's not what's on NOAA's updated Endless spiral here, although it is a good place to start, as they have both of yesterday's eruptive events on there, showing that we have two impacts heading for Earth on the 30th and then on December 1st. But just a few hours ago, the sunspot group we said to watch unleashed a long-duration solar flare. It has a Delta-class magnetic field, which is where the biggest flares usually occur, and it unloaded an X-ray explosion the size of Saturn. The solar flare itself was an M9.8, nearly X-class, and given its long duration, a CME eruption is certain. This is quite obvious when looking at 193 angstroms, where you see how the flare point blasted out a shockwave of plasma that is indeed erupting into space. It is early in the coronagraph update process, but SOHO so far shows us a full halo eruption. This makes yet another, a third eruption that will hit the Earth, and given that the flare was strong, it will likely be less than a 3-day travel time. It will impact with the previous two events, and so we should have inclement geomagnetic activity to kick off the month of December. There's no need to freak out. Kill shot potential of this, even with multiple shots combined, is less than 1%, but we may get yet another low-latitude auroral event, and we could see moderate technological disruptions from the geomagnetic storm. The sunspot is still dangerous. We're still watching. We'll be updating again in the morning show. We'll see you then. Be safe, everyone. For the second day in a row, I had intended to go over recent scientific studies, but the sun has once again preempted by necessity. And no, it's not what's on NOAA's updated Endless spiral here, although it is a good place to start, as they have both of yesterday's eruptive events on there, showing that we have two impacts heading for Earth on the 30th and then on December 1st. But just a few hours ago, the sunspot group we said to watch unleashed a long-duration solar flare.
Okay, so understandable here is that we watch enough time here, but what I'm trying to tell you is that I had to stop right there reading. I'm sorry about that. That's really bad. But as far as I understand, we are looking at a mild storm, solar flare storm. Happens once and often times, could cause disruption to radio or GPS signals. Happens. However, engineers and electricity energy workers are of course prepared for this kind of stuff. Could turn it off while the solar storm is hitting and then turn it back on. You know, it's a thing that's possible to, what I would say, control. And I think, as far as I understand, the thing that is actually about it is that we could see northern lights over not only maybe the U.S., but maybe somewhere in Scandinavia, which is cool. I mean, there's already some. I think there is. I mean, Finland or Norway. I think there's some times where you could see some northern lights, but as far as I understand, it never really reached down later than that, down towards Sweden, and well, made it further down. But as far as I understand, that could be a possibility. But you know, we will have to see. And yeah, don't be worried. Don't be scared. It's okay. But by the way, what I just read right there was given to you by Insider Paper on Twitter. Again, I'll repeat to you, Insider Paper on Twitter. Really great source. Really great articles. Puts out everything. Reads, makes it a minute. Great people. So go check them out. Insider Paper. Yeah.
At this very moment.
Okay, so I have something from IDF here. I want to give you this as far as updates goes. UN Women has launched a campaign to fight gender-based violence and so-called no excuse. Here's the thing: when it comes to speaking up for Israeli women and girls who are hostage in Gaza, there are excuses. Use your voice to demand the immediate return of every hostage. Here you have it.
Inside Gaza, at this very moment, Hamas is holding our people hostage. Men, women, children, babies. We urge all people who care about women's rights, children's rights, human rights, the future of humanity to join us in calling for the immediate release of our hostages. Those who used their voices to denounce violence against Iranian women. Those who used their voices to denounce violence against Yazidi women. Those who used their voices to denounce the kidnapping of Nigerian schoolgirls and demand their return. Raise your voices. Speak up for our hostages who are silenced. Demand their immediate return. Right now, UN Women has launched a campaign to fight against gender-based violence called No Excuses. Yet, when it comes to the women and girls being held hostage by Hamas and other terror groups in Gaza, there has been silence. There is no excuse for silence. People who care about women's rights, children's rights, human rights, the future of humanity should show it. Speak up. Demand the Red Cross see them. Speak up. Demand the immediate release of all our hostages. The IDF will do everything to rescue the hostages. Thank you.
Yeah. You know, the indiscriminate and the actions taken against the women. And this is not me sitting here. Okay, so a lot of people are going to say, well, then a lot of people are going to go, oh, but what about those women in Palestine? Listen, that's not what I'm talking about, is it? Okay? No, it's not. I'm talking about the people that was kidnapped by terrorists who were kidnapped, young girls. And I'm talking, when I say young girls, I mean young girls. Some were young. I mean underage. Taken, their lives gone, thrown into a fucking abyss. Taken to taken from their everyday lives, put into a situation where they were tortured, and yes, you may hear my next words, raped. Treated like no human should be treated. There's a good old saying that says, treat your fellow humans how you want to be treated. So I say that if Hamas treats the women that they captured like that, well, then we should treat them the exact same way, shouldn't we? Well, maybe we shouldn't rape them, but we could torture them a bit, poke a stick at them. No, but it's seriously, it is serious. And you know, it's absolutely horrific. These young girls, young men, young boys, taken from their lives, taken from their homes, taken from their peace, and put into this situation here where there was interviews that came out from these Hamas soldiers, terrorists, that said, well, why did you take the young girls? And then they said, you know, well, because we wanted to do things to the young girls. That came directly from Hamas terrorists. So you may say to me that some Israeli women, some women in Palestine were treated poorly by IDF soldiers, but I can guarantee, almost guarantee to the factor, that I think they were treated a bit better than what I imagined these women inside of Hamas were treated. And you know, it's not about that, but it is, for me, it's about that. And we have to respect that. We have to understand that. We have to look at that and say, listen, this is what happened. We can't go around that. We have to also respect their privacy. A lot of people are sharing their images. There are these people. This is, by the way, right here. Okay? Hamas and Israel expect to swap hostages as prisoners as part of truce deal. Parts of truce deal, right? So they're about to swap hostages and prisoners, which is good. However, if they do show them, I imagine they're not going to show their faces. Hopefully not. And that's why I'm also pointing this out. Do not share their faces. There's a lot of people on Twitter that continue to share their faces to put them on posters. Listen, they don't want to be put on posters, okay? I know people that, you know, I don't know people that have been taken hostage, I was about to say, but I know, you know, if somebody's been through a lot of stuff, if somebody's been through a lot of stuff, they don't want to be put on a poster, right? Posted around a town saying, I was kidnapped, I'm a part of history, you know? Some do, you know, the Holocaust survivors, they wanted to share their stories, and that's one thing. But a lot of Holocaust survivors didn't want to, you know, be put on a poster as propaganda towards anything. They wanted to be put towards their lives, the life they used to live, and just live out the rest of their lives. That's what we should give these people. We should give them privacy, and then let them decide if they want to share the stories or anything like that. And just respect their privacy in so many ways. You know, these hostages have been through unspeakable things. So yeah, that's what I want to say here. I mean, so many examples, but I think the best one is definitely the one about the whole Holocaust here. That, I mean, am I comparing this to the Holocaust? I don't know. I don't think I'm not. I mean, the Holocaust in so many ways were much, much worse. I mean, let's imagine, you know, scale wise is much worse, but you know, the same idea here is that, you know, a lot of these people didn't want us to be shared. They didn't want to be shared, and people who were at the concentration camps, a lot of the people, they didn't want to be shared. They didn't want their stories shared, but a lot of people did. You know, and then we don't want to do the same. We don't want to repeat the same thing again here, where we share the stories unless they want them shared, and show their faces and talk about them. It's like, you know, don't do that. Respect their privacy. Respect that they have been through a lot, and just give them peace. The last thing they need right now is stress from people going up to them saying, "Hey, can I talk to you about this?" Or paparazzis, or not paparazzis, but you know, journalists going up to them and going, "Hey, can I talk to you about this?" You know, no, fuck off, okay? We have been hostages. We've been treated like no human should be treated. Leave us alone. Let us have peace. Let us live our life, okay? Yeah, that I think, you know, have that in mind. I think that's something we have to take a look at least, and say, listen, respect them. Respect their privacy, okay? Yeah. So that's my message towards that. Thank you. There's a lot of hearts coming. There's somebody putting hearts there. Thank you very much. But I imagine that's because you agree. And no, but I think it's true. I think it's true. Yeah. This is, by the way, I mean, I don't know exactly what this is. Apparently, because of the truce deal, they're swapping hostages, and they managed to get a camera, and that's good. So we get to see that. But yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's there is going to be a lot of stories coming out. I mean, I showed some stories yesterday. There was a 12-year-old boy. He came onto the truck, right? They put him on a truck, and they forced him to wave. And then a lot of these people who didn't understand the concept. There were a lot of these propagandist people who come out and say, "Oh, look how well Hamas treated them," And then there was a senator from the United States. Senator. I don't know what her name was, but it was. She came out and said, "Oh, look at this picture right here. There's a young woman who looks very pleased about Hamas kidnapping her." And then the caption from Twitter, because they've made a new system where they correct things and they have that caption thing, right? They put it there and they said, well, listen, this woman right here and the boy next to it was shot moments later. In fact, the woman was shot and then left to bleed out while in I think it was a cold storage room. I'm not aware, but it was horrific. These people, they're just galloping these things up. They're just like, oh, this is the situation. Okay, I'm dumbass. Okay, I run your government, but I'm dumbass. And I mean, I'm just seriously like these people. I mean, how fucking dumb do you have to be to believe anything coming out from Hamas? Like, how gullible are you to believe anything coming out from Hamas to be true? Okay. Yesterday, there was a story put out. Hamas fired out of the I don't know how many rockets, a lot of rockets, right? I think it was like 2,000 of the rockets they fired off approximately failed. Hamas rockets failed, right? Failed and fell into Gaza itself. And every time it failed and landed in Gaza, expect the time. You remember the time when they talked about how Israel bombed that hospital, right? That was a Hamas rocket that failed, landed at the hospital, and because they knew that, they then immediately went out, oh, look what Israel did. I mean, the only time Israel went over the line, and everybody agrees on this, there was no reason to bomb that refugee camp. I mean, let's be honest. There was no reason to bomb that refugee camp. That was absolutely ridiculous, but it happened. We can't change that. If you want to go check out something about a solar superstorm I've shared about Venezuela and Guyana, they're about to, I'm about to go to war, but the tensions are quite high. There's some things going on there with some border disputation. I've shared a video in the start of the stream here. You can go back and watch that. I also shared the link on my Twitter, which is in the description. You want to go find that. But yeah, Associated Press is the ones with them on it, and there's a lot of things happening right now. I mean, we're talking about a solar superstorm, 3 of them heading towards Earth. Nothing serious though, but we could see northern lights heading over the U.S. or even parts of Scandinavia, which is quite a spectacular sight. So I'm definitely going to keep my eyes out for that. Really, really cool. Oh well, there you have it. That's ATS. It's in Danish, by the way, if you don't understand it, that's why. What are we looking at here? Let's look at it. Okay, so as far as I understand here, I was looking at something coming through. Okay, yeah, here we have it. Where we have it, yeah. Upcoming mobilization in Russia. Russians with restrictions on travel abroad must return their passport to the Ministry of Internal Affairs by December 11th. Those who fail to do so will have their passports nullified, which means canceled, basically. The number of people on the list is likely in the millions. As far as we understand, they're not about to... I mean, mobilize is a strong word, right? General mobilization is a very hard, strong word. There could be another partial mobilization, one of those quotation sign partial mobilization. But as far as I understand, they're about to do something. Keeping the people in Moscow, keeping the people in Russia is of course important to Putin, because then he has more people to send to the front lines, and that's important for Putin. It's not even funny, but yeah. If you weren't here a few days ago, there was a storm in the Black Sea. I talked about it on my podcast, by the way. Well, it's not really a podcast. It's one-man show when I talk about it. I did put out my first one 2 days ago. It's in the description. It's in the description. I have a channel, the channel name and description there. I'm going to I was planning was to do like one like a podcast every day, but I realized how tight that schedule was gonna be. So I'm gonna do instead. I'm gonna do like a 1 week. So like every week I'll upload this sort of one man podcast, where I summarize what happened throughout the week. Where it's like, for example, if you're visual impaired, you don't have, if you don't like watching news, things like that, it's a lot easier to listen to me talk about it. It's okay. That's okay, and I put like a jazz music over and all that stuff, So you want to go watch that. It's gonna be like a summary of the weekend, not a weekend, but a week. So it's like I'll put together a sort of summary of what happened throughout the week. Talk about it, sort of talk about the live streams, and maybe like a 2 hour talk. Put everything together, trying to make things easier to understand. It's going to come out every week. Preferably, I think it's going to come out every Saturday. So yeah, if you want to go watch that, it's kind of like a good way to get yourself the news throughout the days there. And I don't know, I thought it was a good idea compared to people who weren't maybe that good at watching things, compared to, there's a lot of things that you're watching, all that stuff. But yeah, there you have it. But here you have it. This is actually the aftermath of the satellite images of temporarily occupied Sevastopol Bay. Russian defensive structure were destroyed by the storm. So a storm not seen for 100 years was happening in the Black Sea. The Black Sea is next to Turkey, Russia, Ukraine, Bulgaria, Romania, and very close to Moldova as well. I think that's all the countries. Yeah. And all of those experience extreme coastal activity with gusts, wind gusts of up to 70 kilometers an hour, which is roughly 40 miles an hour. Which, in anything that's extreme, that's seriously, cyclones not seen for 40 years was hitting Moscow. I call that Kama. But here's the harbor defensive. This is so ships and everything and drones and all that can't come in. This is what's left of it. That's this right here. I imagine is the thing that was here. That's the thing that was around there. But look at that. That's gone. That's what happens when you have such a high, strong gust. There was a patrol boat called the Raptor. I think it was called the Raptor. It's a patrol boat of the Russian Navy that got split in half. I think it was 3 ships. One ship from the Moscow, and then 2 other national foreign ship that actually landed on the beaches in Russia. Odessa was experiencing, which is in Ukraine, was experiencing record high waves and winds. Sochi in Russia, which is near the Georgian border, completely filled up with water. 10-meter high waves. I don't know what that is. What's that in feet? Like 16 feet? No. What's 10 meters in feet? I don't know. I'm not going to look that up. I know I had the thing, but I'm not going to. That's too much to figure out for now. But yeah, so that was a very serious day there. Doing yesterday's stream, I mentioned that again. I had an update on because I wanted to bring it to you as we went along there. It was still a bit unconfirmed, but the head of the main intelligence services of Ukraine, his name is Budanov. His wife actually got metal poisoning. Now, as far as I understand, she did survive. I want to bring that to you. But it is quite insane to think about. Many are blaming Russia already, and of course we are. I am as well. I mean, who else? Who else has the motive to do that? Oh, sorry. And as far as I'm looking into it, right? And if she had not gone to the doctor, if she had thought that the heavy metal poisoning was just a stomach ache, which it wasn't. I mean, she did get very ill. Went sent to the ER. They figured it out. She had waited a week, she would have been gone. So yeah, very, very serious there. Such a, I mean, what a very disrespectful move from anybody, really. I mean, think about it. That's in many ways very psychological warfare, because it's one thing for Putin to target Zelensky, to go, I'm gonna kill Zelensky, to go, I'm gonna kill Zelensky's wife. You know, that's one thing, because that's, you know, it's really such a high level of psychological idiocy, you know, and it's such a, this idea of assassinating the enemy's leader, you know, I mean, never really understood that concept. You know, for some countries that say, oh, we take out the leader, if we took out the leader of Ukraine, you know, Zelensky, and then say, oh, then Ukraine was going to lose. That's not true, because that's not going to happen. You know, Zelensky, you know, Ukraine won't just lose because Zelensky was to be taken out. In Russia, if Putin was to be taken out, chances are there would be a large change in circumstances. That's the reality. That's the reality of it. You know, Putin thinks so much of everybody else, he forgets to think about himself, you know, and how much in control he is. I mean, it's crazy to think about. But I can continue to talk about that, of course. Saski Air Base is in Crimea. Didn't have a good day today. So it was on fire. As far as we understand, something in Russian control is always on fire. This is an air base in occupied Crimea. Had a rough night. I mean, it was a really rough night. It was very rough, you know. I mean, you know, I've never seen fire like this before. It's such high intensity. You know, going in the sky, but how far up it is. It looks like they're standing quite far away, but I can just not imagine what exactly makes a fire that high. You know, I mean, that's a large fire, if you ask me. You know, but, yeah. It's a truck leaving there, or police car, whatever that is. Okay, Insider Paper just reported something here. This is about the solar storm, so we'll read this again here. Earth will be bombarded by a powerful solar storm next year. Scientists anticipate will reach solar maximum in 2024, with flares strong enough to potentially disrupt global internet for weeks. This is the thing we're worrying about here. I was reading about this earlier. As far as we understand, right now, the ones that are coming could just interfere a little bit with GPS. Not very serious. It's in the G1 and G2, which you don't understand what that is. I didn't understand what that was about an hour ago, but now I do. It's apparently the scale that they use to measure it, and it goes from G1 to G5, and G5 is the strongest. G1, of course, the weakest, and the ones that are coming towards us now is at a G1 and a G2. G2 is moderate. G1 is, as far as I understand, just basically weak. Well, it's, you know, it's quite unnoticeable in many ways. So yeah, I mean, no solar storm is unnoticeable, but it is in some ways quite unnoticeable in the sense of, yeah, you get it. Oh shit, breaking news here. The White House National Christmas Tree has fallen. The National Christmas Tree, where President Joe Biden was scheduled to deliver the Christmas tree lighting, has been toppled over after a significant gust of wind occurred according to the National Park Services. The incident on the White House ellipse, and the crews are actively working to carefully lift and secure the tree back into place. The National Park Services is currently evaluating the condition of the national Christmas tree. Officials at the parks state that the snow will still go on show will still go on as scheduled on Thursday. Look at this.
Near the White House, the National Park Service. Okay,
oh my God!
In the last 15 minutes, that a big gust of wind knocked over the national Christmas tree. It's all set for a big tree lighting ceremony.
The national Christmas tree.
Gonçalves
oh, there it is.
just arrived
no.
on the scene. Know that the
that is.
Park
oh my God. No, that is not fun, is it? That's not fun.
Damage. What can you see from your vantage point?
Unfortunately, we can't see a whole lot. We did circle around the ellipse for
State of
some
Arizona?
time, but we can see this
Arizona?
massive crane that they brought in, and that crane is working very carefully to try to upright that Christmas tree that fell. We're told the Christmas tree fell just around 2 o'clock this afternoon. It was a completely decorated tree. I'm told the contractor is willing to come back and redecorate, but they're not even certain if this tree is salvageable at this point. As you can imagine, and you saw me all bundled up, the wind is biting today. Very strong gusts here in downtown DC.
It did not
so that tree
secure it.
falling over at 2 o'clock this afternoon
That's a
hasn't
long.
been lifted just yet, so it's unclear what the condition of that tree will be. However, we're told the show will go on.
The show will go on. Whether or not it is on the ground, it will go on. America. You can't take down our Christmas tree. We'll just get a bigger one. You gonna try and take out our Christmas tree? Fuck you. We'll just get a bigger one. You wanna take out our Christmas tree? Well, fuck you. We'll just get a bigger one. Fuck you, wind. We're America. Fuck you. Oh my god. Oh, look at that. No, look at that. That's Ukrainian soldiers. Would you look at that? What's that word? Kukuri? I can't read that. Soldiers, I'm not English, are also someone's children. Glory to our defenders.
Oh, the weather outside.
Jesus. Oh, it's snow fight. Oh my god.
And since we've no place to go, let us
Happy
go,
Christmas.
oh,
It's not
the
even
weather-
Christmas yet, but happy Christmas. And we're kicking off Christmas great with a solar storm heading towards your way. A G2 moderate solar storm heading towards your way on December 1st. We are kicking off December 1st with a bang. Literally. There was a NASA readout, and I took into reading of that. I read it in the start here. If you go back to the start, you can hear me reading about it. Showing you the video I showed in the start. I was showing a video in the start that explained it pretty good. If you're gonna go back and watch that, I recommend that. But you can do that afterwards. As far as I am understanding, NASA put out a statement saying, I actually have it right here. It should be right here. Oh yeah, G1 stands for minor, so basically nothing, right? And well, that's put it in a weird way. Damn it, I had it right here. Oh yeah, there we have it. So solar flares are categorized by the strength, with M and X class flares being the strongest. An X class flare, the most significant explosion, can generate energy equivalent to. Now take a guess in your mind. How many millions of atomic bombs do you think? No, an X class could generate the same energy equivalent to 1 billion atomic bombs. Yeah. And there's 2 M classes, so not X classes, but they said that it was a danger for an X class heading towards Earth in 2024. So an equivalent of 1 fucking billion atomic bombs bursting open to heading towards Earth. What a great way to kick off this year, gentlemen. Cutting off the internet for weeks. You're not going to see much from me then. I'm not going to be able to stream. How would I stream? There's no fucking internet. Oh yeah, and by the way, happy Christmas to Russia. Russian woman detained for a sandwich with red caviar. Moscow resident Golina Nauman shot a video of herself sitting on the red square with a 14-kilogram container of red caviar and a huge sandwich in her hands. For this, she and her friend were detained. Law enforcement has considered it an unauthorized action because of the size of the sandwich and the amount of caviar. Right. This is Russia for you, right? Oh my god.
Simple Russian
You have any fucking idea if that's real caviar, which I doubt? Just want to say, if I have any idea, if that's real caviar, which I doubt, okay, I don't think it's real caviar. However, if it is, holy fucking shit, how fucking rich is she? Because that box of caviar, you know, I mean, that much caviar, holy shit, that must cost $1 million. I'm not aware if it was some kind of pro-Ukraine stance or if she was simply just being Russian, but the authorities, they didn't like it. But further on, let's get you some intelligence update on the situation in Ukraine as of November 29th, 2023. Through November 2023, the Russian Air Force has likely started to more frequently employ the RBK 500, the 500 kilogram cluster munition bomb. Depending on the variant, each RPK 500 ejects between approximately 100 and 350 submunitions. In turn, each submunition typically detonates with either hundreds of high velocity fragments or a single larger anti-tank charge. Yeah, I love those guys. The RPK 500 with a cluster munition. I don't know what a cluster munition is. You ask me, what is a cluster munition? Imagine you had a big bomb, but it's not a bomb. No, it's a bomb. With inside of that bomb is then containing hundreds of smaller bombs that you fire towards a city, and that bomb then splits open, making it completely impossible to shoot it down. Therefore, the Russians, being Russians, will very likely, I mean, unless you shoot the rocket out before it ejects the millions of rockets, you know, you're not going to have much effect taking it out. And if they fire that towards a residential area, do the math, okay? We're talking about 500 kilogram cluster munition bomb. So it's almost a ton. It's half a ton of a bomb. It's a half a ton bomb filled up with about 500, 100 to 300 submunitions. A lot of bombs, okay? That's a lot of bombs, and they will very likely use that against residential buildings, which means a lot of fucking damage to residential buildings in where civilians live. That's the Russians for you. RPK 500 reported to being deployed against Ukrainian forces on the Vorleda axis and near Andavika, both in Donetsk Oblast. There's a realistic possibility that, as of with other airdropped bombs, Russia has likely recently integrated a UMPC guided standoff glide kit with RPK 500. This allows the carrying aircraft to release the ammunition many kilometers away from the target, making it, again, even harder to shoot down. Russian glide bombs kits have generally achieved poor accuracy. However, with its large number of submunitions, a single RPK 500 can cause effect of an area of several hundred meters. Meters. I hope they mean meters, right? I imagine they meant meters. Increasing the chance of inflicting at least some danger on the intended target. By the way, this is from the official Twitter from the Defense Intelligence, and someone misspelled meters. No, I'm not saying anything. I'm just like, wow. More on the idea of ships being taken out. In the waters of the Kerch Strait, 3 Russian vessels collided during a storm. Giant waves tossed 3 ships, the Metros Shevcheno, the Metros Pushini, and Kavkash 5 into a heap. The vessel, Metros Shevenchuk, weighed anchor in the port of Kafkash and attempted to head into open sea. However, due to strong wind gusts, it leaned into Metros Poshini, which could avoid the impact. Together, they were carried into the ship Kafkash 5. Yeah, that was a lot of words. I agree. That's a lot of words right there. And I'm sorry about that. But what it did read right here is this. Look at this. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you think that looks like a lot of winds. You think that looks kind of... Oh, there you have it. Yeah, it's going to go over. There you go. And hits the side of... Oh, no, not yet. Not yet. And... Oh, there you go. Yeah. Yeah, oh, not damaged yet. Not. Okay. I imagine it got pretty damaged in the end. Because that appears to be quite rough waters to anchor your ship next to another ship. Where should we put the ship, sir? Right next to the other ship. But, sir, there's very rough water, so we could hit the other ship. Well, why don't you... I don't care. We made Russian ship. Very strong ship. Russian ship don't break. Are you sure about that, sir? I'm but 90% sure. Why 90%? We'll never have 100% in Russia. It is never 100%. We never go 100%. Don't worry. that is the worst thing I've ever done. Wow, that was bad. All right. Anyways, the transfer of F-16s to Ukraine will not change the situation on the battlefield. We need to prepare for a long war, Stoltenberg said. As far as I understand, Stoltenberg is trying to waver the opinions from the Europeans who are trying to get away from supporting Ukraine. I'm still very much in support of Ukraine, of course. But there are some people turning away. Ergen, or whatever his name is, Erben, the guy who was new leader of Hungary, no longer supports Ukraine. In fact, he is a staunch Putin supporter. As well as Slovakia, who will no longer be supporting, as well as Poland, who has strange relationship with Ukraine now. So things are getting worse and worse for it, and it's not good. But these F-16s, that people say, oh, it's not going to make a difference. I beg to differ. I do think the F-16 will make a difference. I believe it's going to make a massive difference. Any country that has air superiority will be able to operate way more freely compared to another country. Okay, if you have F-16s on your land, right, and you are the ones with the superior air power compared to your enemy, you will be able to take out and help your enemy, help your friends on the ground, and assist in combat operations. Okay. By the way, an F-16 is made for long-range combat. A lot of people keep saying to me, well, what if they get shut down? First of all, the Russians won't see the F-16s. F-16s are made for long-range combat. They're not made for dogfighting, okay? You don't get that close. You're going to see a rocket heading towards you, but you won't see the plane. Well, maybe you see it, but it's too late when you see it. Taking an F-16 down is not easy, right? It's not easy, okay? So just, relax, okay? I beg to differ. I do think F-16s are going to make a huge difference for Ukraine, but it's all coming up to time, okay? We'll have to see. But they're beautiful planes. They're beautiful planes, and we'll have to see, okay? We'll have to see. I want to share something with you. Last thing here, before we go on, and I'm just going to go on Twitter, scroll around after that, see if I can find some more. There's always more. And Americans need an extra $11,400 today just to afford the basics, according to analysts of the government data. That's funny because, as far as I understand right now, the American government has recently put out a lot of statements from Joe Biden saying that, oh, we've created 140 million jobs. I think today they said they've created 140 million jobs. How the fuck have you created 100 million? What do you... Maybe they said 14 million. It could have been 14 million. Could have been. I'm not aware. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not. But, yeah. As far as I understand, they keep promoting this new this new Biden administration is doing great job. Now, it's okay to factor in the fact that they are making money, okay? And they are giving jobs. But it's also about the quality of said job. It's also about what does that job pay. You can create jobs. Like, listen, India creates 1 million jobs a day, pretty much. But do you think the Indians have good pay? Do you think the Indians, do you think the Chinese, who also create 1 million jobs a day, pretty much, or at least create a lot of jobs every day, but do you think the pay that they're getting is okay? No. They're not getting great pay. Okay, they're not living that life. Now, the Americans of Joe Biden keep saying, oh yeah, okay, listen, we're just gonna continue to pump a lot of money into creating new jobs, and it's gonna go great, you know, money. And then they keep saying that Donald Trump was the one who didn't do a good job. Now, mind your business. I don't have a big fondness of Trump's administration. I think he did a lot of things that almost got us into war. However, I will say one thing here. He was a great speaker, and also he understood that it's not about the volume of jobs. It's about the quality of the jobs, okay? It's never about, can you create as many jobs as possible? It's about, can you create quality jobs that not only pays for the bills, but make sure that the future generation has enough money to eat at night, okay? Because you could create a job tomorrow, right? I can go out, I can create a job tomorrow, okay? I can find someone. I could say, I'll give you $1 to sweep my runway, you know, my steps outside my door. I'll give you $1 for it. And then they say, well, that's not enough. No. It's not enough, but I did create a job. And then they're going, oh yeah, you did. Technically, I created a job because I'm paying someone for a service. That's technically a job. But do you think he can afford? Do you think he can afford healthcare, food, medicine with $1 an hour or a day? Well, think it over. No, nobody can afford to live on $1 a day. Okay? And the jobs that Joe Biden's administration keeps saying that they're making is penny on the fucking dollar. Okay? It's penny on the fucking dollar. There's no fucking money in it. It's not good jobs. If you were to be creating good jobs, you create quality jobs that pay good money. Maybe you'll have less jobs, but at least you'll have jobs that actually pay money. You know, you have to have a stable economy so that everybody can make money, so that there's able for you to be able to, so that the bosses and the employers pay more money. Okay? Because right now, the system that they're running, you know, they can create as many jobs as they want, but it's not going to make a difference. You know, it's like, I just don't get it. I just don't get why they keep saying that creating jobs is such an amazing feat. Because, you know, I can tell you right now, I need my house cleaned, right? I can, you know, you want to clean my house? Yeah, okay, well, I'll create 2 jobs because I want to get 2 people to clean my house. Okay, cool. Well, you create 2 jobs? That's cool. Okay, are you going to pay them enough money to live? No, I'm not going to pay them enough money to live. I'm going to pay them about maybe $1 an hour. Okay, cool. So they're not going to be able to live? No, absolutely not, you know. I mean, yeah, you know. I mean, I'm just saying, listen, it's not about the volume of jobs, it's about the quality, okay? It's never about the volume, it's about the quality. Yeah. I'm just saying, you know, it's like, and one thing I want to point out as well, stop modeling your economy and your, you know, work-based ideas around how India and China is running their governments. Who the fuck? What do you think Indians? Do you think Indians and China and the Chinese are having good lives? Like 1% of them. Like, if you live in Delhi or, you know, the good parts, sure, You live anywhere else in India, it's fucking shit. Literally, you live in shit. Who do you have these untouchable people, right? And then, because the workforce is cheap, then these corporations go to India and they say, well, we create jobs, penny on the dollar, but at least they have jobs, right? But it's just ridiculous, right? Because factor is, the way that we say we have to, don't look at black people, don't look at black people differently, don't look at Native Americans differently, don't look at Africans differently. But, it's like, okay, well, I'm not a racist, no. But you're the big corporation Apple comes out and says we are all the same, right? Big corporation Apple comes out, we are the same, right? Still, they look at Indians and the Chinese like they're fucking dolls in a fucking mechanism, right? They look at them and they look at Indians and the Chinese like fucking currency, okay? Like currency, cheap workforce. You keep saying to me, don't look at Muslims, don't look at black people differently. I'm not a racist, okay? But at least I also look at Indians and say they're not fucking currency, they're real fucking people, okay? But, like, who the fuck is Apple to come out and say, let's have respect for everybody? You don't respect Chinese, you don't respect the Chinese or the Indians, do you? No, you don't. Because you cheat them like fucking currency. That's the real fucking killer for you. Africans, Asians, Indians. We keep saying we're industrializing their industry. All we're really doing, right, is looking at them like currency and then saying, all right, well, let's use them. Why not just say, let's help them. Let's help them create an economy, not even an economy, but jobs that pay food, give them jobs, and then maybe we'll have less scam callers, just saying. Because, like, yeah. I don't know, but people say to me, then they go, oh, but don't be so fucking rude. What do you mean I'm being rude? I'm not being rude, I'm being realistic. Wow. Wow. What a rude guy I am. Trying to stick up for the little guy. Right? I'll look into a little bit here about the North Koreans. If you haven't heard lately, the North Koreans have started to be annoying again. The North Koreans continue to violate the 2018 inter-military agreement. They have started to put up gun positions, guard posts, all kinds of things. They're actually putting guns, heavy weapon guns, anti-aircraft guns. The South Korea government is not ruling out the North Koreans moving up heavy equipment, like real heavy equipment. We're talking about ballistic missiles. We're talking about short-range intermediate missiles. We're talking about heavy infantry, which, by the way, they've already moved heavy infantry. And a smaller detail, border guards at the DMZ, which is where, the demilitarized zone between the South Korean and North Koreans. The North Korean soldiers have actually started to walk around with pistols. So as far as I understand, North Koreans aren't doing too good right now. And they are trying their best at being annoying. This comes after their successful spy satellite launch. And also, after the successful spy satellite launch, they actually found evidence of the Russians working with them. The North Koreans are feeling very comfortable and confident in their abilities right now. Yeah. Do I fear for there to be maybe some kind of escalation? I don't know. However, the South Korean defense minister did come out and state that there may be some kind of Hamas-style attack against the South Korean anytime in the near future, or at least in the future. And, we don't know. But yeah. As far as I understand, that's what we're looking at right now. On the 2 days ago, I didn't actually show this, but I wanted to show it now because here we have it. The Elon Musk visited Kfar Aza with Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu Last week, Musk announced the X Corporation will be donating all revenue from advertising and subscription associated with the war in Gaza to hospitals in Israel and the Red Cross crescents in Gaza. You gotta give it to this man. You know, sometimes I don't like what Elon Musk comes out and says, but I think if I had to put it to you, in all honesty, he's a capitalist, I'm a capitalist. We have our differences. I'm not putting myself on the level of Elon Musk because I'm not. Obviously, he's much richer and much powerful, greater. But we have our differences in many ways. I think a lot of people have their differences. I don't necessarily hate Elon Musk because I think he's done a lot of good things as well. But for example, starting the electrical car race, he's made SpaceX, and then he fucked up. He actually fucked up with X. That's the thing right here, guys. This is the face of a man who fucked up and then realized, okay, I'll have to fix this. And then he comes up with this idea, which I gotta be honest with you, it's an okay idea. It's a pretty good and smart idea. Save his ass at the last moment. That's what he did, and he did do so. So listen to it.
Infiltrated into the kibbutz itself. This is the house of...
By the way, there's been a lot of speculation and a lot of talk about the vest that Elon Musk is wearing. It's not a vest. It's a... I didn't remember the name of it, but it's some kind of... It's a... It's a vest in some kind of way, but it's not really a vest. It's not like a bulletproof vest. It's meant to protect vital organs from shrapnel or explosive attacks, something like that. This is a bulletproof vest covering the whole body. This right here is meant to protect vital organs, and it actually, people were saying, "Oh, look how bad it fits him." If they had if they had a vest, that they would obviously be able to find a vest that actually covered his body, but he's wearing a vest that was only covering his vital organs. Vital organs, what do you think that is? Heart, yes. Lungs, yes. So this is what he's wearing. For any confusion, there's a lot of debate on that on Twitter. Just want to clarify that.
Holding shells, specifically of a negative, that was used in order to protect the people. נכנסים לתוך הבית. זה של סמים. איפה הולכים? בואו, תסתכל לבית.
What the fuck is that guy doing? What the fuck is that guy doing? Like, where are you, bro? Where are you holding the umbrella? Like, why are you holding the umbrella 20 miles over his head? Like, what the fuck is that gonna do? Like, if the rain's coming from there, you're not exactly protecting him, are you? Well, that's how you actually do it. If the rain's coming from there, you cover it up. What the fuck? I mean, I guess he was just walking in front. He didn't really care, but I don't know why my brain looks at those things right sometimes and points out the differences sometimes. I don't know why. Of course, there's a lot of controversy with this video here because a lot of people pointed out that, you know, it's like, yeah, it's bad, but then look at Gaza, and people were like, oh shit, you know, blah blah blah. And I was just saying that it's like every single situation they interpret as we're trying to say that Gaza is less damaged, or that we're saying that Gaza situation is less worse. Listen, they're just saying that a horrific attack took place against a civilian population, not a military population, which is the difference between what's happening in Gaza and what's happening in Israel. What happened in Israel, the people of Hamas attacked civilian population with no mercy. Israel is attacking a terrorist organization with no mercy. And you know, like, yeah. But here's my, you know, main point of view here for you. I have both sides, right? I am a staunch believer that terrorism should be eradicated and thrown off this earth forever. One thing that I am in agreement is there's both sides to the story. What's happening inside Gaza and the fact that they can't leave is it's kind of like they're in cages, and that's true. I don't see that as being quite a well-founded idea, and I don't see that being good. However, I do think Israel maybe needs to understand that what happened back in time maybe not happen again. They did it in 2001. People forgot about that. Then they did it in 2006. There was also another attack on Israel. Every single time, there's always been an attack on Israel, and people keep going, oh well, listen, the Israel attacked Hamas. Israel attacked blah blah blah. You know, every time a war starts, there's always been an attack against Israel. Granted, I don't like the factor of the encasement of Gaza. You know, Gaza is completely encased, closed, living in cages. I do think the two-state solution is a valid opportunity for them to live in peace. However, it does mean eradicating Hamas, killing Hamas with no mercy, then giving the lives back to the people. Like the IDF said, we're not at war with Hamas. Sorry, we're not at war with Palestine or the Palestinian people. We're at war with Hamas. That's the point of view I think we should all have. $1 million shells from the EU. The EU has supplied Ukraine with 300,000 shells out of the promised 1 million by March 2024. This was stated by the foreign minister of Ukraine speaking to a journalist in the sidelines of meeting on the Council of Ukraine NATO reports routes. I have no reason to believe that the West lacks the political will to increase aid to Ukraine, but there's a lot of high technical, very professional work that needs to be done to achieve results in this area, Ukraine officials said. Here's my fucking problem. Here's the problem. People that make these things don't see it profitable to make these things. Because the governments of said countries in where these things are being made aren't changing their rules into understanding that they need government contracts in so many levels. They need to increase the government contracts. They need to increase the amount of money they're actually making. Oh, look at that. That's a guy with a gun right there. That is actually live. That's a guy with a gun right there. That's some routes as well, so it's live. Now, if it was me, now I'm not a political leader here. I'm not. But I will say, if it was me, I would have said that okay, well, this is not good. Alright, Europe's biggest nuclear reactor goes offline. The set MPP, apparently 2 minutes ago here, I just heard about this. Set MPP goes offline. Set MPP, the Klimitsky nuclear power plant under threat. In western Ukraine, an IEA team monitoring the situation in the Klimitsky nuclear power plant reported hearing several explosions in close proximity over a 20-minute period last night while in their quarters. Holy shit. That's not good. No, but listen, okay, I'll finish what I was saying there. I understand that people that are making these shells, they want money, okay? Listen, we keep saying, like, we have this righteous idea of, like, oh, they have to do it for the patriotism. Listen, just make them think, or at least make them make money. That's not that hard. I think, in reality, what we need to tell them is, listen, you make these 1 million shells, you make these 1 million, whatever, we'll increase the contracts, we'll lower taxes, we'll everything, we'll give you money. We'll make you have money. We'll increase your sales. We'll increase blah, blah, blah. Capitalize on it. First of all, it's stupid because these countries that are making these shells are increasing their industry, right? Which means after the war, after having increased their industry, they could easily make money on it. But no, because we have no capitalist minds left in this world. They could easily make money on it. I'm just putting it out there. Just see where it goes, okay? I'm just saying, like, you know, there's a lot of ways to do things, and I think we could say that, you know, maybe it was time to look into the idea of making some money on the industry and turning on the industry key and make some goddamn cash. What do you say? I say, okay. I say, yes, thank you. Oh wait, this is actually in Finland. Okay. So this is not 7pp. This is Finland. Okay. Finland's Olkiluoto 3, the largest nuclear reactor in Europe, stopped production on Wednesday after a test caused the plant unit to unexpectedly go offline, its operator TVO said. During the test, the plant was supposed to produce electricity normally, said Johan Aho, head of communication at TVO. Before production was interrupted at 1:35 p.m., the Olkiluoto 3 was undergoing a fault ride-through test with a short circuit is created near the power plant. As a result of the test, the production of the Olkiluoto 3 were interrupted, TVO said. Well, as far as I understand, this is not anything serious, so don't worry. What was I looking into? Oh yeah, deep state. No, don't worry. I think that was... As far as I understood, the 7pp was the largest in Europe, but apparently it's not. Apparently it's in Finland, so I misunderstood my my words there. I am sorry. Sometimes, you know, we can't be right all the time. We have to... Sometimes we just say stuff, you know? Come on. Okay, so regarding... pushes, you know, regarding pushes on the Russians or anything moving on the front line. According to Deep State, since yesterday, a small uncertain push from the Russians in the areas of Andavika is still trying to close off the axis. We're looking at I think they said it was close to 17 kilometers of land between these two areas here. I can actually measure it. As far as the biggest land right here, and then go over there, you have 7 kilometers. So apparently, as I understand, there are 7 kilometers from here to here, and there are multiple roads still running through into the city. The main one being, of course, that one. This one right here. That one leads on over there. Can't use that. Well, probably use it to supply at front here. And that one as well. But this one appears to be the main one going into Andavika. And of course, the Russian forces, what they're trying to do, haven't noticed yet. Let me explain it to you. Do you know a little thing called the Germans in World War II creating a new system of warfare called the Blitzkrieg? It is a way of encircling the enemy by moving behind the enemy. Or, in this case, pressuring the enemy so much that they are either forced to move back or forced to turn forces backwards to be able to counter the immediate threat of collision here. Now, you may think to yourself, well, listen, boring, which is me, boring. You said to me that the Russians, they were not good soldiers. That's true, they are not. However, ladies and gentlemen, they are not in any way possible doing a good job. They are just throwing more numbers at it. An estimate put together last month said that Russians are losing up to 10,000 soldiers approximately a month. Doing what? Doing attacking Andavika here in the Volodar direction, trying to close this gap. And the biggest attacks is taking place right here. You go backwards a bit. Go backwards a bit here, right? We go back, we go back, we go back, we go back, go back. We go back, we go back. This is where the Russians have made the most advances. This is where they're actually advancing. This is where they're actually doing things. Moving. This is where they started to advance. Here you have it. Around the start of September there. October, November. Oh, September, November. No, yeah. Oh, yeah. There you have it. And then they started to push out. Push back. They got pushed back sometimes. Back in, back out. This is where we are. Listen, as far as I understand right now, it's not significant gains. However, they did secure this town right here. They did completely take that. And also, one of the other things they did completely take is the access to be able to push these things together. As far as I understand, this is quite open fields. There is the town. This is the part of Andavika town here, as you can see. They would have to push through that. The defense point right here is very, very tough. The Russians is holding and the Ukrainians are holding. It's a dire fight, and there has been talks about a possible retreat from Andavika. However, it is not in the cards as of yet. One of the things in where Ukraine is succeeding a lot is actually over here in the axis of the left bank of Kherson, where they've actually made landings. As far as you can see right here in the left bank Kherson, this is Ukrainian hill territory now. Taking smaller islands and territories, pushing the Russians back in this axis as well. Going to be making their landfall, as far as we understand, right here. Have been making some landfalls. And some were actually stating that they're here or here. That's not true. They're not there yet. They are making slow progress, making ground operations, pushing heavy equipment through, getting it over. As far as that's where we are right now with operations. That's where the war is stating, and we are, of course, waiting. I think the next thing we're waiting for as far as war goes is the F-16s to try and see what difference the F-16s will make. Stoltenberg came out with a statement earlier today saying it wouldn't make a big difference. I beg to differ. I think it will make a big difference. But we'll have to see, right? The Russians have recently launched a campaign of being able to build things once more, and they're continuing to do that as well. The Russians' tactic continues to be less quality, but bad quality, but good volume. You know, great volume, having just a lot more than what the enemy has, and yeah, that is what they're doing. That is what they want to do. And I showed a video earlier talking about this right here, but I will talk about this right now. So this right here is Gawana, and this is the disputed territory. That's Venezuela, and here we have the official statement here, as well as the Brazilian armed forces have reportedly been placed into a heightened state of readiness due to significant movement of military equipment and personnel in eastern Venezuela on the border of Guana. Guyana or something like that. I don't know, which has recently been detected, which officials believing the Venezuela may invade the small South American country in order to annex the Guyana Esquibika region, with accounts for over 60% of the nation's territory, and has been claimed by Venezuela government. A war is brewing on the South American continent. It did brew, and it happened. It was not that long ago. Of course, there was also a civil war there, the independent war of South America, but there hasn't been a lot of wars there. But this is, of course, one of the border disputes. This South American countries are, of course, still not completely, are, of course, not what I would say stable. Many of them are not. You see, look at Mexico, Brazil pretty much being a communist state. Venezuela as well, being a very unpopular, very corrupt state. However, the reason why Venezuela is able to afford a military, believe it or not, they have the biggest deposit of fucking gold, oil, all kinds of things, and they have a lot of it, and people are still looking into that. So yeah, but hey, whatever. As what ifs. Philippines banned vote machine firm implicated in the U.S. bribery probe. Damn. All right. Wow. An American soldier in Vietnam smokes weed out of a barrel of a shotgun in 1970. I don't think I can show that. If you want to go watch, I swear I shared that on my Twitter there. That's impressive. Hey, they had some fun back then, didn't they? They certainly did. As far as drugs goes, I mean, a lot of people keep going like, do you think drugs should be allowed in battle or in fucking in the army? And no, I don't think so, drugs. But I don't know about, weed is a different story. But I think, to be honest with you, cigarettes would be enough in terms of relaxing compensation. People do use it a lot to relax, but yeah, I don't know. It's a weird standing, right? Maybe one day.
Closely followed by motorized divisions, which peeled off, forming solid walls.
Oh yeah, so this is Blitzkrieg. Funny enough, I was just talking about what Blitzkrieg is. This is pictures from World War II of how the Germans actually did the Blitzkrieg. So, yeah, this is it.
So rapidly. The secret lay in the organization of the striking spearhead. Armored forces came first, closely followed by motorized divisions, which
tanks, motorized divisions, IFVs, infantry fighting vehicles, and infantry vehicles driving off. This is the middle. Apparently, I think it's supply lines. Those out here are filled with soldiers. They will then drive out. The soldiers will jump out, create a solid wall of defense right there.
Forming solid walls.
Yeah.
And through the corridor, thus formed, raced the supply trucks to feed.
Yeah, the supply truck.
It was obvious that if.
So that's Blitzkrieg, and you'd imagine how would they do that? They did that in two directions. They take where the bulk of the enemy forces is, attack just next to that, break through that, break around, no matter how good an army is. If you break around the enemy, you cut them off some supplies, you siege the enemy, you move in on them, you've got the enemy. That's Blitzkrieg for you. That's how Blitzkrieg work. You know? UK's Nottingham City Council declares itself bankrupt. A city council declares itself bankrupt. And U.S. Osprey military aircraft with 8 soldiers on board crashes off the coast of Japan. Fucking Christ. They need to get rid of that fucking stupid Osprey. It is really like I'm sorry, but it's stupid. I'm just saying, like, it's stupid. Like, it doesn't need to be there. Like, maybe they could figure out a different option. Or at least take a look at it. You know, just seriously, you know. Take a look at it. It's serious in England as well. You know, what the fuck is happening to this fucking country? What England needs? And people keep saying, what does England need? How can we save this situation? Get back into fucking EU, you idiots. Like, you could save your whole fucking scenario by getting back to the EU. Okay? Stop thinking you can take care of yourself. England used to be able to take care of themselves. England used to be able to take care of themselves, but they can't anymore. They don't have an empire. They don't have an empire filled with supplies and money-making machines. You know, now they're just a smaller country. You know, an island country. They can't take care of themselves anymore. What they need to do is get back in the EU. You know, they could save a lot of money getting back into the EU. You know, I think it, I think they would be able to change the situation in England a lot. They tried it. It didn't work. Get back in the EU.
A new generation of murderers is not trained to be murderers.
The EU doubles Ukraine's economy because they continue to give money. Oh, great. Let's continue to fund Ukraine so they can fight their war. Great. Where the fuck? You think they're going to throw cash at them? No, but I'm just, I'm just asking, like, what do you mean? Listen, yeah, great. We're giving them money. But what are they going to do against the Russians? They're going to throw cash at the Russians? Take this, take this penny. Take this nickel. I'll throw a nickel at you. You know? That'll hurt. A nickel, that's made of iron, you know? Just like bullet is. I'm just saying, like, what? I mean, great that we have, but why can't we use the money that we're giving them anyways on actual military equipment? I mean, what's the fucking point? Like, what are we, you know? Serbian ruling party accused of buying votes ahead of poll. Oh, really? You're telling me that Vucic, a mad dictator of a country, he's a dictator. Vucic, he's a fucking dictator. He's the one to go to war with. He's the one who wants to go to war with Kosovo. He's still like Putin. You know, of course he's corrupt. Serbia's corrupt as hell. They don't realize it. A Serbian ruling party accused of buying votes ahead of polls. Whoa, really? Whoa, I didn't expect that. Whoa. Russia has allocated 1.5 billion to anti-Ukraine information campaign Made in Free, writes Bible, which refers to the GRDUR. This is Russia's most expensive special information operation since 2024 on the revolution of dignity. Okay. Well, as far as other news goes, let's get you a... Is this one the one I had yesterday? Oh, it's not. Okay. Oh, this one's the one I... Yeah, okay. Here you have it. This is, Zelensky.
Бажаю здоров'я, шановні українці і українки. Щойно провів засідання ставки, особливе, тривале, детальне. Перше – фортифікація. Значно посилюємо. Були детальні доповіді на всіх рівнях. Генштаб, Міністерство оборони, прем'єр-міністр, обласна влада, командувачі ОСУ. Всі фінанси є, всі рішення є. Має бути повна відповідна робота в громадах. Усе абсолютно деталізовано. Мін та бетону нашій державі точно вистачить. Потрібно більше швидкості та ефективності. І кожен, хто за це відповідає, має чіткі завдання. Був також важливий аналіз нещодавніх атак проти України, ракети, масовані удари дронів. Проаналізували тактику захисту від нашої протиповітряної оборони, чітка потреба, розвиток і посилення наших мобільних вогневих груп, а також всі максимально ефективні системи ППО. Окремо проаналізували роботу патріотів та насамсів. Все дуже ефективно. Я вдячний нашим партнерам, які допомагають нам саме із цими системами. Командувач повітряних сил та інші відповідні командувачі Міністерства оборони мають необхідні доручення. Були, звичайно, доповіді командувачів за усіма фронтовими напрямками. Окрема увага Донецьким напрямкам. Авдіївка, Мар'їнка, район Бахмуту. Там за цю добу найбільш інтенсивні бойові зіткнення. Я дякую усім нашим воїнам за силу і стійкість. Куп'янський напрямок. Я хочу особливо відзначити утримання наших позицій. Обговорили також і наші дії на південних напрямках. Провів сьогодні і окрему нараду з міністром з питань стратегічних галузей промисловості України. Можна назвати її оптимістичною. Ми готуємо, зокрема, хороші далекобійні речі, щоб окупанти відчували українську силу. Ще одне. Підписав закон України про державний бюджет на наступний рік. Очевидно, що у ньому головний пріоритет – це захист від російської агресії. Але при цьому ми враховуємо соціальні потреби наших людей та повністю виконуємо соціальні зобов'язання нашої держави. У час повномасштабної війни це надзвичайно важливо, щоб кожен наш громадянин, який потребує державної підтримки, отримував її. І кожен, хто зараз створює робочі місця, хто зберігає бізнес та навіть розвиває його, усі, хто в Україні та з Україною, працюють чесно та підтримують інших, підтримують і нашу оборону, і наше наближення до українських цілей. Захистити та зміцнити нашу незалежність, захистити наших людей, відновити нормальне, гідне життя максимально. Я дякую всім, хто б'ється та працює заради цього. Слава усім українським воїнам, слава нашому потужному народу. Слава Україні!
Zelensky, Zelensky, the man, the myth, the legend. Oh, he's a legend. Oh, he's a nice guy. If you're gonna go to war, who do you call? Zelensky. Oh, do I love Zelensky. He is a man. He is a myth. He is a legend. He's an epic man. Oh, is he great?
I want to start by making something very clear. Israel didn't seek this war.
Right. Wow. Pretty fucking clear already, dude. Alright. Well. Oh my god. That is disgusting. Oh, I'm not gonna watch that. Ah! I'm not sure I can show that. It's nobody dying. Like, it's actually... Like, it's St. Petersburg region, Russia. And they showed how the toilet looks like. And it's just brown water. Like, ugh. Ugh. Wow. Move, you fucking moron. Come on, move. I gotta get the fuck out of here. I don't want to be here anymore. Say, wait a minute, man. We gotta check you out. No, I got hostages. I gotta get the fuck out of here, man. This guy's like, I gotta fuck out of here. I don't want to be here. This is fucking crazy. I don't know if the bomb is gonna fall on me. Goddamn. Oh, great. Venezuela already showing pictures of his squad cubo being theirs. That's quick, Venezuela. You know, like Venezuela going, listen, it's ours. We haven't invaded yet, no. We know, but it's ours. Okay, buddy, it's not yours. It's not yours anymore. No, it is. It is ours. Yeah. And we're gonna take it. So. Yeah. Love that. Oh, look at that. Some people are saying report footage of fighting on the Venezuelan Guyana border near a passage that goes across Israel. Early reports claim its Brazilian intelligence service said it had received intelligence that the Venezuelan army would launch a military operation against the Republic of Guyana or Guyana or something like that. Clashes between armed forces of Brazil and Venezuela in Guyana is really happening. It's not fake news. It all started 2 days ago when the Venezuelan army launched an offensive to occupy parts of the country. Brazil has deployed reinforcements while the U.S. Army is... Huh. Brazilian armed forces have reportedly been placed into a heightened readiness. I read that earlier. Yeah. As far as I understand, there has been some border clashes, and could be moving into full-scale war here. Not aware if that's true or not, but, I mean, this is still not the exact same way as we fight wars, so it could be back and forth, but it seems like it. So that's the fourth war this year? No, third war this year. Yeah, so we had the Israeli war, we had the Azerbaijan and Armenian war, and now possibly and we have some African wars going on as well. We have some Somali terrorism, Sudan terrorism, and wars going on down there. Some proxy wars taking place, military coups all over the place. Down in Niger as well, we have a war taking place here in South America now. So things are looking a bit hot in North Korea as well, where North Koreans are continuing to put up defenses and guard posts along the DMC. So can you say holy fuck? I love it. I love it. It's absolutely awesome that we're looking at a possible war scenario here. It's a hot pocket. A lot of wars right now. A lot of war. Lots of war. Lots of war. Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't have any more. I don't have any more news for you because we are pretty much done here. Oh, look at that. Okay, so one last thing here. Slovakia expands embargo agriculture product from Ukraine from 4 to 14 times. Slovak TV channel. The import ban will cover such products as honey, wheat flour, malt, cane, and beet sugar. The report says. So not only it appears that Slovakia, Poland, and Hungary is trying to actively enclose Ukraine from any economic support during a time in where millions of people are dependent on this and to be able to survive, to sell off their products. They're dependent on the factor that, well, this, of course, continues to go on. But no, of course not. We'll just starve. You know? No, okay. No, yeah, sure. No money for the Ukrainians because, well, some Polish farmers and truckers and Slovakian truckers apparently as well, agriculture member seems to think that sacrificing anything for the idea that they won't have war in their backyards is very selfish. I understand. You know, you obviously don't want to sacrifice a penny and earn a little bit less so that your children don't have to be sent to war. No, that's okay. You know, because you want a little bit more money. You know, you don't want a little less money, but the promise of your children staying at home. Or do you want more money with the promises that maybe your children one day will go to war? You know, long-term ideas, I'm picking the latter. The idea that I'll have a little of this money, the idea my children won't go to war. And the fact is, I don't have children. Don't put it I don't have children, but I just want to say, if I did, I'd pick that. Anyways, before we actually go, I think I was going to stop it there, but I just realized that Flash has this one up, which is the latest news from yesterday. This is Budanov. This is the Ukrainian intelligence chief. He's a little bit weird looking guy. I don't know why I keep saying that, but he is. He's a good intelligence chief. I think so. But this is his wife who got poisoned, and well, this is about her here, right? So 5 minutes here, and then we'll end the stream afterwards. Thank you for being here. I'll come back and say goodbye afterwards. Yeah, we'll do that afterwards.
every conference of presidents.
All right. Well, thank you so much for stopping by today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. We are going to be back tomorrow. Then, we're not going to be back on Friday in case anything really bad happens. Of course, we'll be back. But tomorrow, live stream. After that, we have watch out for Saturday. There'll be a one-man podcast, or podcast, you like to call it, called Not So Good Podcast. Link is in the description for that channel. So we'll go check out my Twitter. Well, I'll be reposting things and keeping you in touch with the latest news. And other than that, of course, continue to like and subscribe. Thank you for being here. Thank you for rewatching. Thank you for watching. We pretty much covered what I wanted to cover today. I think we've covered a lot here. This is Routes. By the way, you're going to check out this live stream right here. I did not put the link in the description, but I will do that right now, actually. Sorry about that. So the final version of this will have this link if you want to go watch what we saw here. There you go. Update on that. Yeah, and this one is TVL. Is Ukraine live streams right here. 88 speed and Ukraine. Red alert. Ukraine in alerts there. Thank you to Insider Paper War Correspondence. We have thank you to Flash News for that video we just saw. Thank you to Ukrainska Pravda for providing some of the information that I got not only today but yesterday as well. Thank you to a lot of people, actually. Thank you to Oints Defender. Thank you to Clash Reports. Thank you to Vicegrad 24. Also, all of these people on Twitter. Kiev Post as well, and Kiev Independent. One thing I will do before we leave, actually, I just remember that. The Kiev Independent is the last shout out that I'm going to make here. I did remember this just right now. Let's actually get... And then I'll leave, I promise. Right here. Russian troops losses as of November 29th. 1,140 troops. That is a lot of troops. 27 APVs. 46 vehicles and fuel tanks. 50 tanks. 42 artillery systems. 39 UAVs. 3 MRS. 2 cruise missiles. And 3 anti-aircraft systems. And 8 special equipments. Holy shit. That's a lot of troop losses today. Ukraine did an amazing, beautiful job today. Absolutely amazing. Here you have it. This right here is going on to Twitter as well. Going to be tweeted right there and liked. And therefore, we are done. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. See you tomorrow.